Namaste, Suprabhatam. So, welcome everyone to the Karyashala. The format for 1.5 hours we'll do is first 45 minutes we'll spend in conducting a yoga class that you usually would conduct. And the next 45 minutes we'll talk about each of the asanas and the details of asanas. So, we'll do the class like we are doing a normal yoga class. Please everyone take your mat, sit in Sukhasana. The practice that we'll be doing today is from the module 1. I think most of you must have got the module 1 video and the list of the asanas that are there on that module. These asanas are taken from Ashtanga Yoga primary series, which is called YOG Shikshak. There are several styles of yoga, probably everybody has heard by now, Vinyasa Yoga, or Ashtanga Yoga, Bikram Yoga, Anusara Yoga. The one that we will be practicing today is Ashtanga Yoga. So I'll tell you a little bit about Ashtanga Yoga, how is it different from other styles of yoga, and then we'll go and start the practice. So Ashtanga Yoga has its origin from Patabi Joyce. Patabi Joyce was from Mysore. His teacher was T. Krishnamacharya, who is now considered as father of modern yoga. So all the styles that you see being practiced in United States or most of the world right now has been inspired from Ashtanga Yoga. Now T. Krishnamacharya's guru was Ram Mohan Brahmachari. He lived in Himalayas. T. Krishnamacharya traveled there, lived with him for 7 years, learned about 4,000 asanas, and then as a Guru Dakshina, he was told to go back, get married, and teach yoga to the householders. So this Ashtanga Yoga has been prepared in such a way that it is intense, because most of us don't have that much time. As a yogi, you're expected to practice 24 hours. But we all have other responsibilities. So it was devised in a form that it is intense to be practiced 1.5 to 2 every day. And that also I think most of us are able to do. So what we have done is taken few of the asanas from the primary series, which is called as Yoga Shikshak. Yoga Shikshak means yoga therapy. So the practice of yoga begins with Yoga Shikshak. If you have any ailments, this is the practice you start with. And if you do not have any ailments, you still start with these postures, because these are fundamental yoga postures from primary series. Now, the primary series, if practiced as it usually takes 90 minutes. But since in Shakha we do not have 90 minutes, we have taken some postures from primary series and then prepared this module 1. Okay. How does Ashtanga Yoga differ from other styles of yoga? 3 important things are stressed on during practicing Ashtanga Yoga. First is the posture or the asana. So correctly practicing the asana with bandhas or bandha. 3 important bandhas are mentioned. The first one is the Mula bandha, where you squeeze the perineal muscles. Second is the Jalandhara bandha, where you take your lower abdomen in and up, and Uddiyana bandha. And the third one is Jalandhara bandha, when you take the chest to the chin. So asana has to be practiced with these 3 bandhas. We'll keep on talking about these later in the details when we go over the asanas. Second is drishti. So in Ashtanga Yoga, we consider it's a meditation in motion. We are meditating on yoga postures that we are moving from one to another on. So in our physical environment, things are always changing, constantly changing. In our material world, the things are always changing. To meditate on these changing forms of asana is the concept of Ashtanga Yoga. So first is the asana with bandhas, second is drishti, and the third is ujjayi pranayama. So throughout the asana practice, we will be using the foundation as Ujjayi, victorious breath. If we do the asana without pranayama, then it is just like stretching in gymnastics or any other stretches or warm. So Ashtanga Yoga stresses that every time we hold a posture or move from one posture to another posture, it is accompanied by pranayama, which is Ujjayi breath or victorious breath. So what is Ujjayi breath or how is it practiced? Ujjayi breath is when you engage your back of your throat muscles and you make a sound like most of us, when we're tired or we want to just relax or we're stressed, we just say we engage the back of the throat muscles. This is the same as Ujjayi pranayama, but instead of the mouth, we will do it through the noses. So we'll go into the details of Ujjayi pranayama also as we practice. But these three are the foundation of Ashtanga Yoga. The posture with Bandha, Drishti, and Ujjayi pranayama. That is how it differs from other styles of yoga. Now, does this mean this is the only style of yoga that is right and others are not? Not really. But this is something that I have practiced for the last few years. It has worked for us, and that's why this is the style that we have picked and made this module one. Now, what is yoga? It's the origin of Vinyasa yoga. Vinyasa comes from the two words Nyasa and Vi. So Nyasa means step by step, arranged in a particular order. V is a perfect arrangement of order of postures. So in the Ashtanga Yoga method, in the Yoga Chikitsa, the first module, the asanas are arranged in such a way that they go from Muladhara Chakra to the Sahasrara Chakra and they stimulate our chakra. So that is the reason why the asana sequence is arranged in the way it is arranged. Okay. So every time you teach a class, we have to make sure that we just don't randomly do some postures or just say, okay, today I'm going to take 3 asanas and just teach some asanas. There has to be some reason why the asanas are done and why in that order. So typically in Ashtanga Yoga, we start with Surya Namaskar. Then we do standing postures. Then we do balancing posture. Then we do sitting down, forward bend. Then we do twisting posture, do back bend, one inversion, followed by Shavasana. So if we are teaching a class, we should see that we are taking some asanas from all of these subsets that we talked about. So we start with Surya Namaskar, then take few postures from standing asanas, and so on, like what we said. So we'll go on the details of that too as we practice and when we talk about asanas later. So let's do this class. Come in Sukhasana. Sit on your yoga mat in Sukhasana, nice and tall. Bring your hips, back, neck and head in one straight line. Close your eyes. Inhale. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale. Empty out completely. Inhale. Lift your heart up. Exhale. Relax your shoulders down. Inhale. Bring a beautiful smile on your face. Exhale and let go of everything that does not serve you. Bring your thumb and index finger together, palms facing up on your knees. We'll begin with 3 Oms. Inhale. Hatha Yoga Pradipika. Pranamya Shri Guru Natham Swatma Ramena Yogina Kevalam Rajayogaya Hatha Vidyopadeshyate. The meaning of which is, I bow down to the Guru. So Swatmaram is the author of Hatha Yoga Pradipika. He is saying, I bow down to my Guru and bring the intention of my practice that Hatha Yoga, or the physical practice of yoga, is just the means, but the goal of yoga is Raja Yoga, which is controlling our mind and reaching Samadhi. So let us make sure that we know why we practice yoga, that asanas are there, pranayam is there. These are the components of Hatha Yoga, but the ultimate goal of practicing yoga is to reach Samadhi. So a lot of times people say, okay, let's make sure we tell all the benefits of the asanas, or as we teach the asana, let's go into details. But rather than that, giving a practice of yoga is a holistic thing, not just yoga for high blood pressure, yoga for diabetes, yoga for back pain, but rather to always keep in mind and set an intention in the beginning saying the goal of yoga is Samadhi or Raja Yoga, but the means is Hatha Yoga. So let us now begin with practice of Hatha Yoga or practicing asanas. Okay. Bring your hands on the knees, palms facing down. Roll your shoulders back few times. Forward few times. Interlace your hands, stretch your arms, palms facing out, chin to the chest, navel to the spine. Round your back. So we're doing warm-ups to get ready to practice the modern yoga. Inhale, reach all the way up, give a nice stretch and nice traction to the spine. Exhaling, interlace your hands in the back, open your chest and open your shoulders. Grab your right wrist with the left hand, inhale, lift the chest, look up. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, come up. Exhale, hold forward. Inhale, come up. Exhale, nose to the right knee. Inhale, come up. Exhale, nose to the left knee. Inhale, come up. Release your arms. Bring your arms forward. Reach all the way forward. Bring your head down and give yourself a nice stretch in the front. Nice deep breathing, engaging the back of your throat muscles, making a gentle snoring sound. That's the Ujjayi Pranayama. Slowly walk back. Bring your hands behind the hips. Open your chest. Inhale. Drop your head back, lift the chest up, and give a nice back bend to your spine. Inhale, bring your hands back to the heart center. Inhaling, reach all the way up. Nice length to the spine. Exhaling, twist to the right. Inhale, back to the center. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, back to the center, arms along the side. Bring the right arm up, reach with your right arm, sway to the left, and breathe right into the right ribs. Nice and deep breaths. So we are trying to wake up our spine in all the directions possible. There are 6 movements that happen in our spinal cord. So traction, forward bend, back bend, and side bend. To the other sides. Nice deep breath and open your entire left side. Back to the center. Reach with your right arm all the way. Right hand on the left knee, left hand goes back. Inhale, lift the chest, exhale, spiral to the left. Back to the center and spiral to the right. Back to the center. Come on to your hands and knees. Wrist in line with the shoulders. Knees in line with the hips. Spread your fingers like a starfish. Index finger pointing straight. So make a nice spread the hands. Plant them down on the mat. Engage the tip and the root of your fingers. That's called the Hasta Bandha. That way, you activate all the muscles of your hands, so there's no strain on your wrist. Inhale, lift the chest, tailbone up. We do the cat and cow warm-up. Exhaling, round your back at the chin in. Inhale, take a nice deep breath, lift the chest, tailbone, drop your tongue. Exhale, round your back at the chin. Inhale, lift the chest and tailbone. Exhaling, round your back, big toes come together. And give yourself a nice stretch in Balasana, child's pose. Nice deep breaths, Ujjayi Pranayam. Hips stay over the heels in Balasana. Knees can be together or apart. Elongate both the sides of your waist and reach forward. Bring your head down. Inhale, come back onto your hands and knees. Take your right arm, thread it to the left, reach all the way and give yourself a nice twist. Back to the center and twist to the other side. Inhale, come back, plant your hands, tuck your toes in, and lift your hips up and back in Parvatasana or Adho Mukha Svanasana. So from here on, we'll call this posture Adho Mukha Svanasana because that is what it is called in Ashtanga Yoga. Downward facing dog. Feet are as wide as hips. Spread your fingers. Lower abdomen in and up. And your drishti is to the navel. Nabhi Chakra Drishti. Nabhi Chakra Drishti. Walk your feet forward towards the hand. Keep the feet as wide as the hip. Grab your upper arms and drape the spine forward. Rest your feet and slowly come up. Samasthiti. Sama is equal, Sthiti is standing. Equal standing posture. Spread your toes. Make sure your weight is equally distributed in front and the back. Stand nice and tall. Arms along the side. Shoulders are down, away from the ears. This is our posture of starting Ashtanga Yoga. We'll do Surya Namaskar. So there are two styles of Surya Namaskar in Ashtanga Yoga called Surya Namaskar A and B. These are slightly different from what we usually practice in Shakha. Begin with Surya Namaskar A. Ekam. Bring your arms to the side. Bring your palms together. Reach all the way up. So don't do a back bend, but reach up towards the sky. Drishti is on the thumb. And reach with your arms. Urdhva Hastasana is the first posture. Dve, keep the length in your spine and fold forward. Uttana Asana. Inhale, lift the chest, nice straight back, hands can be on the shin or down on the floor. Ardha Uttanasana. Chatvari, bring both the legs back and come into Dandasana. So this posture is not really there in the Surya Namaskar A, but when we're learning in the beginning, this is the transition pose. Bring your knees down, both the knees come down, Go forward, press your hands and come down. If you bend forward, your hands should end up by the waist, not here by the shoulders. Down by the waist, bring your elbows in, shoulders down. Press your hands, inhale, lift the chest, tuck the toes, pointing back, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Downward facing dog. Lower abdomen in and up. So Ujjayi Pranayama here because we stay for 5 deep breaths in Adho Mukha Svanasana. First lock is Mula Bandha, squeeze your perineal muscles. Second, Uddiyana Bandha, lower abdomen comes in and up. Third, its chest comes towards the chin, Jalandhara Bandha. All of this might be too much information right now, but just focus and grasp as much as you can. Inhaling, walk your feet forward, lift your chest up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhaling, fold completely forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, reach your hands up, palms come together, drop your head back, lift the chest up, Urdhva Hastasana, back to Samastiti. Again, Surya Namaskar A, we'll do it for 2 more rounds. Ekam, inhale, palms together, look at your thumbs, reach up. Dve, exhale, fold completely. Head comes towards the shin. If it's too hard to fold completely, you can bend your knees some and bring your chest over the thigh. So in the beginning, your knees might not be straight. You can bring your chest over the thighs and keep your knees bent. Eventually, you can work on straightening the knees without lifting the chest off the thighs. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. So lift your chest so you don't round and hang here, but instead bring your hands on the shin, shift your weight forward, lift the chest up, Ardha Uttanasana. From there, walk your feet back into Dandasana. In Dandasana, your wrist and shoulders are in one line. So it's not like Adho Mukha Svanasana, but your wrist and shoulder are in one line, chin is up, and your arms are strong, legs are strong. From there, bring your knees down, press your hands, go forward and come down. Point your toes, keep the feet as wide as the hips. Inhaling, lift the chest up, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Stay there, 5 deep Ujjayi Pranayama. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, walk your feet forward, lift your chest up, nice straight back, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhaling, fold forward. Inhale, reach all the way up and back to Samastiti. Again, Surya Namaskar A for the last time. Ekam, inhale. Dve, exhale. Trini, inhale. Chatvari, bring your legs back, come down. Pancha, inhale. Shat, exhale. Stay there for 5 counts. Feet as wide as the hips. Fingers spread, index finger pointing straight. Straight knees, straight elbows, and gaze to the navel. Drishti is to the navel. Inhaling, walk your feet forward. Lift the chest up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhaling, Uttanasana. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, Samastiti. Okay, we'll do the variation of Surya Namaskar called Surya Namaskar B. So we'll add 2 more postures that are not there in Surya Namaskar A. The first one is Utkatasana, and second is Virabhadrasana. So Ekam, bend your knees, all the way down, squat down, bring the palms together. Utkatasana. Look at your thumbs, reach with your shoulders, protracting the shoulder blades, drop your hand, lift the chest up. Dve, hold completely. Uttanasana. Inhale, lift the chest up, Ardha Uttanasana. Walk your feet back, Dandasana. Go forward, come halfway down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Bring the right foot between the hands. Plant your back foot 45 degrees. Bring your hand onto the knee. Knee faces straight ahead. Knee is aligned with your ankle. Square your shoulders and your hips forward. Reach with your arms, bring your palms together. Look at the thumb. Drop your hand, lift the chest. Virabhadrasana 1. Bring the palms along the side of your foot. Bring the foot back. Come into Dandasana, then Chaturanga Dandasana. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Adho Mukha Svanasana. There's no holding here in Adho Mukha. In Surya Namaskar, when we transition to Virabhadrasana on the left side, bring the left foot forward, bring the palms together, reach up. Virabhadrasana 1 on the left side. You don't have to hold the posture. Bring the hands down, walk the feet back, Dandasana. Inhaling, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Now after Virabhadrasana is done, we hold the Adho Mukha Svanasana for 5 breaths. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, walk your feet forward, lift the chest up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, bend the knees, arms reach up, Utkatasana, Samastiti. So that was one round of Surya Namaskar B. Now we'll start the standing postures. Bring the feet hip width apart. Your feet are about half feet wide, in line with the hips. Fold forward with the index finger, middle finger and thumb. Make a hook and grab your big toe. Inhale, lift the chest, nice straight spine. Exhaling, fold forward. Stay there for 5 deep Ujjayi breath. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, straight back, lift the chest up. Exhale, hands on the hips. Inhale, come all the way up, back to Samastiti. Okay. Next, we do Trikonasana, triangle pose. Open your feet to the right, about 3.5 feet wide. Externally rotate the right foot faces the back. Left toes come in some. Square your hips and shoulders to the long edge of your mat. Stretch your arms, inhale. Exhaling, bend to the right. If you can, grab the right big toe. Reach with the left arm going towards the sky. Open your chest towards the sky. Gaze to the left hand, or if balancing is problem, look straight ahead. Hold it for 5 deep Ujjayi pranayama. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, come up. Trikonasana to the left. Toes point to front. Right toes coming some. Square your hips and shoulders to the long edge of your mat. And then go to the left side, doing Trikonasana to the left. Again, hold it for 5 counts. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, come up and back to Samastiti.
Next is Parshukonasana, side angle pose. Open your feet about 4.5 feet wide this time, little wider than what you had in Trikonasana. The toes point of back of the mat. Square your hips and shoulders to the long edge. Stretch your arms, keeping the left leg nice and straight. Bend the right knee comes over right ankle. Then reach with the left arm, bicep to the ear. Bring the right hand down, or theoretically bring the elbow to the knee, and modify the posture. Parshokonasana. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale up. Parshokonasana with the left. Left knee bends, right leg is nice and straight. Elbow comes to the knee, or bring the hand down and reach with the right arm. Gaze it's towards the right hand. Hasta drishti. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, come up. Exhale, Samasthiti. Next is Prasarita Padottanasana. In this there is A, B, C and D, but we'll just do one variation. That's the A. Feet are wide. Toes come in, heels slightly out. So pigeon toe with your feet. Hands on the hips. Inhale. Take a deep breath, lift the chest up. Exhaling, bring the hands between the feet. Inhale, lift the chest up. Exhaling, bring your head down towards the floor. Keep the legs nice and strong. Head down towards the floor. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, hands on the hips. Inhale, lift the chest. And back to Samasthiti. So those were our standing postures. After Surya Namaskar, we did 3 standing postures. Now we'll do one balancing posture. That is Vrikshasana. This is not part of Yoga Chikitsa or primary series, but it prepares you for one of the postures that's there in Yoga Chikitsa, which is a little more advanced than Trikonasana. Bring the right foot against the left thigh. Square your shoulders and hips to the front. Reach your arms up, palms together, or you can keep along the side. 5 breaths, you hold the posture. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release and switch the side. Bring the left foot up. Left foot is planted on the inside of the right thigh. Reach your arms out and palms going up. Nice straight back. Engage your bandhas and Ujjayi Pranayam for 5 counts. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release and come back to Samasthiti. Okay, so that was one balancing posture. Now we'll do the sitting postures. Sit down on the floor. Legs are straight. Chest is lifted up. Uddiyana Bandha, Mula Bandha, and Jalandhara Bandha in sitting Dandasana. Chest is up, hands are by the hips. Shoulder blades go back and down. Feet, the ankle is flexed and the big toe is pushing away. Lift the chest up, gaze at the tip of your nose. Nasagre Drishti. 5 count. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. The next is Paschimottanasana. Inhale, reach your arms up, give a nice length to your spine, lower abdomen goes in and up, hold forward. Grab your big toes with the index finger, middle finger, and thumb. If you don't reach there, grab your shin. Inhale, lift the chest, exhale, hold forward. Hold it for 5 Ujjayi Pranayam. 5, knees are straight, kneecaps are pulled up.
3, 2, and 1. Inhale, come up and release the posture. So typically in Ashtanga Yoga, there is vinyasa between every sitting posture, which means that you do half Surya Namaskar between every sitting posture. We sit that because we don't have that much time in chakra. Now next is tabletop, feet are hip width apart, hands come behind the hips. This is another variation of Purvottanasana. It's a beginner's version of Purvottanasana. There you can do a complete Purvottanasana. I'll do the modified version. Feet are as wide as the hips, hands behind the hips. Inhale, lift the chest. Scoop your tailbone, lift your pelvis up, drop your head back and lift the throat up. Hold it for 5 counts. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly come down and come back to Dandasana. Next, we'll do is a twisting posture, which is Marichasana. It's called Marichasana C in Ashtanga. Bend the right knee. Right foot comes right outside the right hip. So keep one hand width of a distance between the right foot and the left thigh. Sit nice and tall. So I'll do the modified version and Devraji will do the complete posture. Inhale, lift the left arm up. Reach all the way to the right side. You're going to twist. Bring the right hand outside, the left hand outside the right hip. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhaling, gaze back over your right shoulder and look back. If you're doing a complete posture, you bind your hands from behind. But most of the beginners are not able to do that. So do not worry if you cannot do that. Do the modified version that I'm doing. Hold it for 5 counts. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release and switch the side. Bend the left leg this time. Left foot comes to the left hip. Reach with the right arm. Twist to the left. Bring the hand outside the hip. Left hand goes back. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, spiral and lift to the back. Over your left shoulder. 5, 4, 3, Ashwa Drishti. 2, and 1. Inhale, come back and release the posture. So that was one of our twisting posture. Next we'll do is Navasana or the boat pose. I can do the modified version, Devraji can do the complete posture. If you're doing the modified version, bend the knees. Float your shin parallel to the floor, your knees are bent. Look at the big toes, bring your arms along the side. If balancing here is a problem, bring your hands under the thighs and support. If you're doing the complete posture, you can straighten your knees and look at the toes. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release and relax. Next, we do back bend, Setu Bandhasana. Lay down on your back. Walk your feet in as close to the hips as you can. Press your palms down against the floor or you can grab your ankles. Press the lower back on the floor, bring the chin towards the chest. Inhale, press your hands, scoop the tailbone, lift your pelvis, bring the chest towards the chin. Give a nice back bend, scoop your tailbone, lift up higher, hold it for 5 counts. 5, 4, Ujjayi Pranayam, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly come down and release the posture. Bring your knees onto the chest, roll from side to side, rock back and forth. Once you do the back bend, do a counter posture and fold forward into Paschimottanasana one more time. Hold it for 5 counts. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, come up and release the posture. Next, we'll work on inversions. So that is towards the end of our asana module 1. Lay down on your back. We do halasana, flower pose. Press your palms against the floor. Walk your feet in. Hug your knees onto the chest. Pressing the palms, bring your legs above, overhead. Then support your back with the hand. Straighten your legs, point the toes. Halasana, hold it for 5 counts. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly bring your feet towards the sky. You're going to Sarvangasana. Support your back, reach with your toes, squeeze the thighs together, chest is towards the chin. Gaze at the big toe. Hold it for 10 counts. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly come down into Halasana and then slowly throw that onto your back. Do Matsyasana, counter pose to Halasana. Point your toes, recline on your elbows, do the fish posture. Press your hands, spread your collarbones, lift the chest up, bring the top of the head on the floor. You can slide your elbows towards the feet to relax your shoulders and bring the top of the head on the floor. Point your toes, legs are nice and straight. Hold it for 5 counts. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Press your elbows and release the pose and lay down on the back. On your knees, coming to a sitting posture, going from side to side, rock back and forth. So we'll end our practice with Padmasana. So if Padmasana is too difficult, you can sit in Sukhasana or you can try Ardha Padmasana. Stretch your legs, bend your right leg, lock the right knee completely, open the hip. If your hip is not open, do not struggle and strain your knee in Padmasana. Work on opening your hips more by doing the beginning asana from module 1. Bring the right foot again over the left thigh. That's Ardha Padmasana and you just fold the left leg under. If that is easy, you bring the left foot up and do Padmasana. Sit nice and tall. We'll do Yoga Mudrasana. So if you're in Sukhasana, just grab your toes from behind. If you are in Padmasana, first grab the foot that's on the top, that's the left foot from behind. Then cross the other hand and grab the left toe. Inhale, lift the chest up. Exhaling, fold forward. Yoga Mudrasana. So all that energy that we have generated by practicing the asanas in the beginning, you want to lock it in so that you feel energized. So that's why you finish with Yoga Mudrasana. The locking posture. Hold it for 5 counts. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, come up and release the posture. Hands in Yama Mudra. Sit nice and straight. We'll do Ujjayi Pranayama for 10 counts. Chest is up, chest towards the chin, Jalandhara Bandha. Squeeze your Mula Bandha and activate your Uddiyana Bandha by bringing lower abdomen in and up. Arms are straight. Close your eyes or look at the tip of your nose. And 10 deep Ujjayi Pranayama. Inhale. Exhale. Bring your hands on the side, in front of your hip, not along the side. Bring it forward, front of your hip. Bring your knees towards the chest if you are in Padmasana. If you are in Sukhasana or Ardha Padmasana, don't do the wash. Next is Upluti. Bring your hands forward, lift the hips up and hold it for 10 counts. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly come down and release the posture and lay down and rest in Shavasana. Just for the sake of time, we won't do the complete Shavasana this time. Slowly roll to the right and sit in Sukhasana. From here, you can meditate or use any form of meditation for 5 minutes before you conclude your class. Today, we won't do that. Just bring our hands in front of our chest. We'll chant one verse from Yoga Sutra, then chant Shanti. Inhale, take a nice deep breath. Read and follow. Satu dirgha kala nairantarya satkara devito trida bhumi.
Satu dirgha kala nairantarya satkara dhara sevito trida bhumi.
The meaning of which is yoga gets firmly established only if done over a long period of time, without any interruption, with complete, then yoga gets firmly established. Shanti mantra. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu.
Sarvesham swastir bhavatu.
Sarvesham shantir bhavatu.
Sarvesham shantir bhavatu.
Sarvesham purnam bhavatu. Sarvesham mangalam bhavatu. Means, may we see well-being everywhere. May we see peace everywhere. May we see completeness everywhere. And may we see auspiciousness everywhere. Shanti, Shanti. So that was the practice. How much time will it take?
We have another half an hour.
Okay.
So we can go through about the teaching practices, yoga in our class. And if anyone has any questions about any yoga postures or benefits of the yoga posture we have gone through today, they can post also on the YouTube comments. I'm not seeing any.
Nobody's being able to see.
No, there are participants.
Okay.
I couldn't see their comments.
Okay.
So they can post on the. So we can start on the benefits of this yoga postures and how to take them effectively in the shakas.
So, what I have noticed for whatever short period that we've been attending Shaka, and it's been 2.5 years that we've been attending Shaka, lot of the things we do are in the Sharirik part, we try and coordinate, right? So, a lot of time is spent in Yanu where we are trying to coordinate, or in Samatha, or other areas of the Sharirik part. But personally, I feel that when we are doing the asana practice during the yoga session, we need not give the counts of 1, 2, 3, 4, but rather than describe the correct alignment of the posture. So that saves time, and we can do a lot more asanas in half an hour than we would usually be able to do if we give counts and try to coordinate and make everyone synchronize in the asana practice. That's one thing. Also, if we say, ideally I would recommend that maybe each one of us now, for next 6 weeks, at least 6 days a week, try and practice this module 1 for yourself before you start teaching. So if you practice for 6 weeks, 6 weeks for 6 times a week, then you become familiar with module 1. So you know what postures come in module 1. Only if you experience the benefits or you see the difference for yourself, then you can go and teach with conviction. So I think a very important part of teaching asana or yoga session in the Shakha is, the first and the most important is that we practice ourselves at home, right? So if we don't experience what we are teaching, we cannot teach with conviction. We cannot tell them exactly what is the right or wrong way if ourselves we don't practice it. So the first most important part is, let's make a sankalpa that next 6 weeks, if we are going to teach yoga session in our Shakha, that we ourselves will practice this module for 6 times a week. And then from there, if we have any questions, then we can discuss more on it. But to know the correct alignment of posture, we need to practice this for a long period of time. But I'll go over a few fundamentals as to what we need to cover in that.
Okay, so we have one question. It is from Arunji. What we did is yogasana. Ashtanga yoga has 8 limbs. Why is this called Ashtanga yoga?
So, like the focus of our practice was today was asana, right? But Ashtanga yoga, as like Arunji mentioned, there are 8 steps. In the Ashtanga method of asana itself, we cover the first, the yam and the niyam is not covered, because that we assume that we have done it before we start the asana practice. Asana practice being the 3rd limb of Ashtanga yoga. During the practice of asana in Ashtanga method, like we mentioned before we started, is first asana, which is accompanied by pranayam, the ujjayi breath, which is the 4th limb of Ashtanga yoga. And then we talked about drishti. So every posture, there is a gazing point in Ashtanga method or Ashtanga method of asana practice. When we have a gazing point or a drishti to focus on during the asana practice, we are practicing the 5th limb of Ashtanga, which is pratyahara, withdrawal of senses. So there is not many styles of yoga where they say, okay, during the Urdhvasana, gaze at your thumb, which is part of Ashtanga yoga practice, because when you have a drishti to gaze at, our senses are withdrawn. We do not get this practice, the 5th limb of Ashtanga yoga, which is pratyahara. So just while practicing the asanas, we are practicing the asana, pranayam, and pratyahara, the 5th limb of Ashtanga yoga. Now, yam and niyam can also be practiced during Ashtanga. Let's say, give an example of ahimsa, right? So if we listen to our body, we do not overdo during the asana practice. We do not hurt ourselves physically by trying to achieve something during the asana practice. We practice ahimsa. So yam and niyam are the subtle aspects of yoga, which you can keep in your mind while you're practicing the asana part of it too. So like I said, this is a primary series. This is the first step of Ashtanga yoga. That's why it's considered for the beginners. So we start with asanas and we practice the first 5 limbs. Dharana, dhyana, and samadhi are the outcomes. If you practice the first hatha yoga properly, then the raja yoga follows. That's why it's called Ashtanga yoga.
Yes, so for no other questions, but we can go on the challenges which we are facing during the Shakha, as you mentioned, that even before as a yoga shikshak, we have to practice on that one. So, and also about this, all the asanas, how we get that, what are the benefits, what the asana we did today, and what are the common mistakes we do when we do this.
So, like I've been teaching for last 6 years. Usually I don't try and tell that, okay, this asana does this benefit, this asana does this benefit. Because you really don't want to get lost into details of which asana is helpful for what, right? If you say, okay, I have back problem and I want to do asana for back problem, that's not how it should be. You should do the whole practice, which has all the components of standing, sitting, forward bend, back bend, twist, and inversion. All of those should be there. Because you have back problem today, so you do asana, but are you going to wait for high blood pressure? Are you going to wait for cholesterol? Are you going to wait for diabetes to start practicing the other asanas? No. So asana practice is holistic. You do not need to know, okay, what asanas benefit what part. But yes, as a group, you can know, say, okay, when we start with Surya Namaskar, we all know enough about Surya Namaskar. We know how it is complete practice. It helps mind, body, spirit, all those Surya Namaskar, we know the details of what the benefits are. Standing postures are important because those are fundamental postures. They strengthen your legs, they strengthen your arms, they strengthen by engaging the bandhas, they strengthen your core muscles, and they also open your hips, because most of the asana practice, as we all know, the goal is basically to be able to sit in one posture for meditation for a long period of time, right? So if your hips are not open, you cannot sit in Sukhasana. So the goal of standing postures is so that the hips open, your back is strengthened, your arms are strengthened, your legs are strengthened. Those are the standing group of postures. Then for every physical practice, right, there are 4 components. Say physical exercise should strengthen you, should make you flexible, should help you balance, and help perseverance or endurance, right? You should be able to build endurance, to be able to do something for a long period of time. So when we do yogasana, all these 4 components are taken care of. So when we do the vrikshasana, it helps with balance. Balance is a very important component of any physical form of exercise. Not only balance of body, but balance of mind is also developed when we do vrikshasana. So after standing posture is balancing posture. Then sitting postures. When we fold forward, we are again engaging our bandhas and we are giving massage to all our internal organs, which increases the digestive fire, helps our digestive process get better, which is the most important part for good health. To be healthy in other systems, we have to make sure that our digestive system is really working well, because all the diseases start if our food is not processed correctly. So that's why we have all the forward folding asanas. Now forward folding asanas also help with depression and other mental ailments. But basically, they open our hamstrings, like stretch the back of our thighs, they stretch our back, and they also help in digestion. That's all the forward folding asanas. Then we do the twisting part of the asanas, which again helps with digestion, and it helps to keep our spinal cord and our back healthy. When we twist, we completely wring our digestive system, we take all the blood that's not good out, we squeeze it, we massage our internal organs, and when we release the posture, fresh blood comes in and our digestive fire improves. Then we do the back bending postures. In all the back bending postures, they are really, really good for anybody who has back pain. So today we did Setu Bandhasana, which is a really good beginner's posture for anybody who has back problems or back issues. That's one important part of back bends. Before we started, I also said that what is the reason why asanas are arranged in this sequence. So it activates from Muladhara chakra. When you reach the back bend, it activates your heart chakra. So we are slowly going from down to up towards the Sahasrara chakra. That's why this sequence of postures. And then we finish by doing inversions, which is good, and it activates again your Sahasrara chakra, but also it is very good to increase your digestive fire, improve your strength, overall strength of your body, help you relax. So that's the reason why we do the inversions. And then we said I already mentioned why we do the Yoga Mudrasana in the end. So those are overall benefits. Yoga Chikitsa, the whole primary series, the goal is opening our hips and improving our digestion. An entire digestive tract is taken care of when we practice these asanas.
Okay, we still have 30 minutes, so if anyone has any questions, just post here. What I'll do, I think right now we can't see everyone on the this Hangout Air session because it's a broadcast one. So we are stopping the session, and you can join me on my Hangouts. So my email address, most of you have that. It's a Trinav@gmail. So just join there, so that you can have you can directly interact with Hitalji and if you have a question. So having said that, I'm stopping this one and starting my hangout session. And this recording will be shared with everyone who's accepted them.
Okay. Do we need to go on to the details of some of the asanas like system standing posture? Okay.
Yeah, it
So
will be good.
one common thing we'll say, okay, the first posture we did after we did the Surya Namaskar was Padanushkas. So every time we do the forward bend, I see a lot of people round their back, right, and try and reach, and then round their back. But instead of that, we need to create length in the spine. So for that, and if you need to fold forward, you can bend your knees slightly. That way you open your hips and you keep your back in a good alignment. So instead of rounding your back and reaching somewhere, bend your knees slightly and then fold forward. That's a common thing that we see during forward folds in standing asanas. Also during Surya Namaskar, when we do Uttanasana, so a lot of people are rounding their back and trying to fold. Instead, you have to keep your back nice and straight, lower abdomen in and up, and then you fold forward. For doing this, if you're not flexible in the beginning, you can bend your knees, bring the chest over the thigh, and bring your head down. And then slowly work on straightening the knees without lifting the chest away from the thigh. So the common mistake in Surya Namaskar, Uttanasana, or any forward fold is a lot of people just hang there trying to reach up. But instead create healthy alignment by using all your bandhas, which is a very, very important component of asana practice. If you practice asanas without the bandhas, slowly you can hurt your lower back if you don't engage your dhyana bandha, the abdominal muscles, because that's a good support for your lower back. So during all the forward folding asanas, we have to engage the abdominal muscles. So you're supporting your lower back, and in the long run you don't hurt yourself. If we are going to do the asana practice for a long time, if we do it incorrectly, we are likely to harm ourselves and benefit ourselves. So that's one common thing during all the forward folding asanas. So that there is a whole, each posture we can talk about for half an hour. But like I said, if we haven't practiced all of those for a long period of time, you will not go and understand the details of each posture. So I'll just go over a few fundamental things. 3 things that happen in any forward folds is you're stretching your hamstrings, the back of your thigh. You take lower abdomen in and up. And you engage your kneecaps. You pull the kneecaps up. The idea behind that is when you engage your kneecap or you engage your quadriceps at the front of your thigh, the back of your thigh muscles relax automatically. That's how the physiology of your body is. So when you activate one group of muscles, the opposite group of muscles relax. So pull the kneecaps up, bring the lower abdomen in and up, and that way you stretch the back of your thigh. That's in any forward fold. That way, same in Paschimottanasana. You pull your kneecap up, you engage the quadricep, you engage the Uddiyana Bandha, and then you fold forward. Here too, I see a lot of people trying to reach around the back so much. Instead of rounding the back so much, you can bend your knees a little bit. You keep your chest up, nice and straight spine, bring the chest over the thigh, and slowly work on straightening the knees without lifting the chest away from the thigh and fold forward. This way, you are engaging the important parts of your body. So that was in the forward fold in the sitting posture.
Okay. If anyone has any questions, then post it here, or you can just join my hangouts, the trinab@gmail. Okay, I'll just stop this. You want to add any concluding remarks?
So, on the other one, they will do.
If anyone has a question, they will join. Otherwise, you can conclude also.
So, it's hard to talk without seeing
Yeah,
people.
without
It's like
listening,
you're talking to the walls, right?
Yeah.
But it would be nice if we can have an interactive way, like if you have questions, so that way I know what to address instead of I keep on talking. But basic idea behind this is to make sure that you do prepare yourself well before you go to Shakha. So right, even if, say I am practicing for last 6 years, Still, if I go to Shaka on Saturday, on Friday, I make sure that I know what I'm teaching on Thursday and on Saturday. You have to be prepared. You can't just spontaneously go and say, okay, I'm just going to take these 4 asanas. So I think this is a good way to start. If we already have a module, we can standardize this, practice it over a long time, like 6 weeks, and then start teaching in the Shaka. Yesterday we did it in San Antonio and Swami Vivekananda Shaka. And this exact whole one, the module 1 took about 25 minutes. So we were able to do it in the 30 minutes time that has been given for Yogasana during Shaka. This way we are covering everything and it becomes standard. And then if you practice the same asanas for a long time, then you see the results. And then people say, okay, looks like this is effective, then I'll come back to Shaka instead of randomly practicing any asanas that you think you want to do in Shaka. And then once this is done for enough period of time, we can add more and work on module 2 or 3. But the basic is also that if you notice in the beginning, we started with an intention of practice. So this time I had a verse from Hatha Yoga Pradipika, right? To make sure that everybody does understand that there is a higher goal to yoga, that we are not just doing some stretching or some exercise. It's always a good idea to start a yoga session by setting up an intention. Intention is any positive thought. Now this positive thought can be from anywhere. It can be a verse from Bhagavad Gita. That's one example. It can be a verse from Patanjali Yoga Sutra, or it can be a verse from Hatha Yoga Pradipika. These are just some examples. Sometimes it need not be from our scriptures. It can be just some positive value that you would like to share with people. Like say, I'm going to say, okay, let's set the intention of our practice and let's practice ahimsa. So you can set up an intention, something positive to say before you start your asana practice. Like in San Antonio, we had tried that in one whole year, we'll start practice by choosing one Daivik quality from Bhagavad Gita. Chapter 16, there are about 26 Daivik qualities given in few verses in Bhagavad Gita. So I will say, okay, Abhayam Sattvasam Shuddhihi. So I take one Daivik quality and talk about that before I start my yoga session. This way people know that yoga is more than just asana, right? So that's one example. So if you take those 26 Daivik qualities, you talk about them for 2 weeks in Shaka, exactly in 52 weeks in a year, you're covering 26 Daivik qualities, which is a good foundation for everybody and understand more about yoga. So that I would suggest is always start with some good intention. Then do this module 1. Then you conclude with one pranayam. So this time we did Ujjayi pranayam, but you can choose any one other pranayam, Anulom Vilom or Bhastrika or Kapalbhati, whichever you want to. Add one pranayam. Give a couple of minutes for Shavasana. Ideally Shavasana is 10-15 minutes, but we don't have that much time in Shaka. So you give a minute or 2 and then finish with some form of meditation. Like right now in our Shaka, we are practicing Soham breath. So that's just one example, but you can do mantra meditation or passage meditation, any form of meditation that you choose to. This way we give people a whole package of asana rather than just doing few asanas. We give a whole gist of yoga practice rather than just giving some asanas.
We have 2 questions from Binduji. First question is, what can we emphasize for children?
So, okay, that's a whole different session because what we prepared right now is not a practice for children. It can be for teenagers to adults, but when you're doing a session for children, then you think more about animal poses, more about fun things, more about, say, a frog jump or elephant walk or camel pose. So you can make variations, make sun salutation more fun. So that is a whole different talk, or maybe it will take a whole session if we want to do on the kids, because there are separate postures that we choose for the kids.
Okay. So means in the future we can have one session for all the Bala Shikshaks also, where we can go through more yoga asanas for Bala. And, okay, and how to take the session. Next question is, in Shaka, is Surya Namaskar done 13 times or just 3 times with emphasis on the postures?
So rather than stressing on number of times, if you are going to incorporate module 1 in your Shaka, you do not have enough time for doing 13 postures. So what we are doing right now in San Antonio is we start with the starting mantra of Surya Namaskar. We do Surya Namaskar, our traditional one that we practice in Shaka, only for 2 times. So for Om Mitraya Namaha and Om Ravaya Namaha. Then we just do the mantras for the remaining portion, and then we conclude with the concluding mantra for the Surya Namaskar, and then we start with morning one. So it need not be 13 times. You can just do it 1 time, but make sure that the postures are done correctly. You need to do them correctly rather than doing 13 times wrong way.
Okay. So far, that's all, Hetalji. I'm not seeing any other questions on the, but if they pause. But Dhanyavad, Hetalji. And all those who have joined, Dhanyavad. On a Sunday morning, you join this session. And hopefully we'll see such session in future also. But in the meantime, if all the Yoga Shikshak and in the Shakas, if Karyavas or Mukhya Shikshak, if you have any questions regarding any of the yoga asana or how to conduct or any other question, or even related to this asanas we have covered today, please feel free to reach me or Hetalji, and then Hetalji will always be ready to answer any questions, especially related to the yoga and healthy food. So you can approach Hetalji anytime. And this recording will be shared with everyone. And let's try in the next 3 months in our Shaka this yoga posture and see that how we are doing. And then again, after if requires, the next after 3 months, we will have one more session similarly to address this. But I'm still here for next 15 minutes. So if you have any question, just send me on Hangouts or call me on Google Hangouts so you can have a video session also. Dhanyavad.
Okay, Dhanyavad everyone. I know it was a lot to cover in 1.5 hours. For some of us might be doing the Ashtanga Yoga for the first time. To put all this in one, it might have been very overwhelming, but like Pranabji said, please feel free to call us anytime you want. We can always answer the questions that you have if we know what it is, and if not, then I'll try and find out more and answer your questions.
Okay. Dhanyavad.